So we are reading from Sri Tattva Sandarbha. And this is the opening verse of Mangalacharan. And the meaning which is given to this verse is people who are not Gaudiya, they say it is a sectarian meaning. Because it is only our acharyas who say that this verse is speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what I want to do is I will read the commentary of Sridhar Swami on this verse, who was much before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, and then you see if that explanation makes sense to you. And then we will see what the explanation which Jīva Gosvāmī gives, if that is more appropriate. Because to say that this is a sectarian meaning is one thing, but what is the meaning then? So the verse is famous verse. Most of you probably know this. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagyahi Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedhasa. So there is no controversy about the meaning of the second half of the verse. That everybody agrees that the meaning is that intelligent people, Sumedhasa, Sankirtan Prayar Yagyai Hi Yajanti, that they worship this avatar of Bhagavan by primarily Sankirtan Yagya. You can come here, Robert, maybe you can move to this side. So this is non-controversial part of the verse, that one thing is sure, that this avatar is worshipped, because this verse is spoken by the sage Kavi, I think, in response to the question which was raised by Karbhajan. Karbhajan is speaking, right? So King Nimi has asked question about the avatars in the 4 yogas. Raja uvacha kasmin kale sa bhagavan kim varnaha kidrisho nirbhi namna va kena vidhina pujyate tadihe uchyatam. So this is the question which was asked, that in which time Bhagavan, in which color, by which name, by which process is worshipped by people. This is the basic question. Basically, in different yugas, Bhagavan is worshipped in different form and has a different name and different color and a different process of worship. So 4 things: the form is different, name is different, color is different, and the process of worship is different. So he is asking that, can you please tell me which one is worshipped in which yuga, and the name and color, etc. This is the question. So earlier he answered that Kritam Treta Dvaparam cha Kalirityeshu Keshavaha Nana Varnabhyadhikaro Nanaiva Vidhina Ijyate. That in Krita Yuga or Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga, Bhagavan Keshava is worshipped by different process and different color, and has different name and different form. Nana Varna Abhidha Akar. Varnam is color, Abhidha is name, Akar is form, and Vidhina is process. And then he explained about Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, etc. So when he came to Kali, then in the previous verse he says, Nana Tantra Vidhanene Kalau api Yatha Shrinu. That how Bhagavan is worshipped in Kali Yuga by the process of Tantra. Please listen from me. And then he speaks this verse, Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam. So this is the first half of the verse, which says that he is Krishna Varnam. So literal meaning is that his color is Krishna. Krishna Varnam, Varna means color, although you will see many other meanings. Krishna Varnam. But then it says Tvisha Krishnam. So this goes a little bit contradictory. First it says that color is black, but the skin is not black. Tvisha Krishnam. Or Tvisha Krishnam means the skin is black. Color is black, skin is black. What does it mean? Are these two different things? So if you take the direct meaning, because this word Tvisha Krishnam can be, now you know the Sandhi, it can mean Tvisha Akrishnam and it can mean Tvisha Krishnam. Right? So now you know the play of Sandhi, how it works, how you can give different meaning. Right? So you break the Sandhi, you can break because two A, short or long, combined together give one long A. So whether in the beginning it was short or long, or maybe there was nothing, because maybe it is just Tvisha and Krishnam, there is no A. Or it is Tvisha Akrishnam, means little black. Or Krishnam means completely black. Or Akrishnam means not black. It can be, everything is possible. So Vyasadeva is good. He gives possibility. You can take what you like. So now we have to figure out what is the meaning. So Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam and Sango Pangastra Parshadam. And this is a samas, which means that he has his Parshada, his associates, he has his weapons, and his Anga and Upanga, his bodily limbs and secondary limbs. So that also doesn't make some very big sense. That's, you're talking about some person, then you say he has limbs and he has secondary limbs. So is there any possibility of some human beings without limbs or what? Especially God is coming. So he says that he is along with, Sangha means along with Anga means limbs, and Upanga is secondary limbs, and Astra, weapon, and Parshad, associates. So this is the meaning. Now you figure out who is this avatar. Because second half of the verse is no problem with that. That whoever this avatar is, he is worshipped by Sankirtan, by intelligent people. So now we have to identify who is this avatar, who is black in color, and his skin is, either you have to say it is black or not black, whatever. Although if you say it is not black, then what does it mean his color is black? So is it that he was black, but then who was this guy, Michael Jackson? He was Krishna Varnam, but his skin was not black. Right? So he was Krishna Varnam, maybe he is the avatar. So black in color, but skin is not black. And Anga Upanga Parshad. So let's see what Sridhar Swami gives the meaning. And then we will see what our acharyas give meaning. So he says, Rukshatam Vyavartayati Tvisha Kantya Krishnam Indra Nilmaniva Dujwalam. You see, Sridhar Swami obviously has a problem when he sees, not that he has a problem, but he sees the problem in the verse. Because first you say Krishna Varnam, and then you say Tvisha Krishnam, that he is black in color and the skin is black. So he says, what is this? Because commentator's job is to explain the words, and usually if there is a verse and there is something repeated, then you have to explain why it is repeated, because the fundamental assumption is that verse is not wrong, that Shastra cannot be wrong. So if there seems to be some repetition or some unnecessary word is being used which is not needed, So then one has to explain why is it like this. So obviously Sridhar Swami immediately notices this, that what is this Tvisha Krishnam, what is the need for this? When we have said that his color is black, and the most natural meaning for the word Varna is color, because already the talk of color was there. In the previous yugas, even in the very question, the word Varna was used. So it makes sense to take the word Varna as color. So if color is black and then to say that the skin is black, so what does it mean? What is this thing telling us something extra? Because it must tell us something extra, and if it is not telling us something extra, then it becomes redundant, and that is a flaw in the verse. So therefore he cannot say there is a flaw, so he assumes that this is to tell us something extra. So what is the extra meaning? So he says, well, he is black in color, but don't think that he is some dry black fellow. His skin is very, like, not ruksha. What is the word in English? Like sneha, oily, buttery, lustrous, you can say, So he says that is the meaning, that's why it is said. So therefore he says, rukshatam vyavartayati, that the second word Tvisha Krishnam is used to deny that although he is in black in color, but his skin is not just rough and dry, but it is very soft and shiny. So then it tells us something extra, and therefore this phrase Tvisha Krishnam has significance here. So that is the meaning he gives. So therefore he elaborates on this. What does it mean that it is not rough and dry? He says Tvisha Kantya Krishnam, that by Tvisha, by his Tvisha means skin, it also means glow. That by glow he is blackish. So what does it mean? He says Indra Neel Manivad Ujjwalam, that he is bright like the blue sapphire. So it's very intelligent way of actually applying the verse. He is smart. Obviously Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there, he has to give meaning to this verse, and he has to make sure that of course sometimes people don't comment anything, he would have just bypassed it. But he is not doing that. So he has at least tried to apply it. So he says that Tvisha Krishnam means that his skin is glowing like blue sapphire. So black in color and glowing skin like blue sapphire, that is the meaning. So this is one meaning he gives, but he is also not satisfied with this, because he says, what is this? If God is having black color, why should one think that his color is not lustrous? So then he says Yadva. So when Yadva is given in the commentary, Yadva means or, optionally. So that means that the commentator is not very happy with what he has commented with, and he gives an alternative meaning. And usually what comes later, that is more akin to his heart, or he is inclined to accept that more than the previous meaning. So he says Yadva Tvisha Krishnam Krishna Avataram. So now he says that Tvisha Krishnam means that he is Krishna Avatar. So now the problem is, who is that? I mean, he is an avatar of Krishna. At least that much he got right. But who is he? That he doesn't say anything. Because as far as he was concerned, he could not figure out anybody. That who was this Krishna avatar? There was no Krishna avatar, so maybe he is thinking he is going to come in future. That is, otherwise he will pinpoint. If there was somebody in his understanding, then he would have stated that so and so he is being described. So he doesn't say anything, he just leaves it here. And then he says that anena kalau Krishna avatarasya pradhanyam darshayati. So basically he is applying this verse on Krishna only. He's not even, I don't think he, by the word Krishna avatara, he means here an avatara of Krishna who is someone else, but Krishna himself. Yes. So he says that by this, by saying Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Krishnam, it is emphasized that the avatar in Kali Yuga is Krishna himself. So, but what does it mean? Because Krishna came in Dwapara. Right? So either he has to say, well, the avatar which came in Dwapara, same avatar is to be accepted for Kali Yuga also. Something like that. He doesn't say more than that. He just says this much. Anena kalau Krishna avatarasya pradhanyam darshayati. All he says is that the speaker says Karbhajan is showing the prominence of Krishna avatar in Kali Yuga. That's all. Which means that in Kali Yuga there is no separate avatar, but only Krishna, who was avatar of Dwapara, which was already described. Krishna was already described as the avatar of Dwapara. So in a way, he is right actually. At least he is saying that the avatar in Kali Yuga is Krishna. Only thing is that he is thinking of Krishna that, and we are saying this Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So really speaking, from this nothing becomes clear who is the avatar. And then he just says Angani Hridayadini. That what are the Angas? He says limbs like heart, etc. Obviously he is coming with heart. Who is going to appear without the heart? And Upangani Kostubhadini. And Upanga he says are the Kostubha gem, etc. Astrani Sudarshanadini. And Parshada Sunandadaya. Tatsahita. So he has his weapons such as Sudarshana and associates as Sunanda. So along with that he comes in Kali Yuga. But really speaking, except that in a way he is saying that I really don't know. And then if you see all other commentators, because I went through it.
You have Madhva Prabhu, can you read Madhvas for us? Madhvacharya.
Madhva I don't have here. In this Madhva is not there. But there is Vijayadhvaj Tirtha, and he doesn't say anything. So most probably Madhva also didn't say anything. Because Madhva does not comment on all the verses. He writes very little, only on very selected verses, very little. So since Vijayadhvaj Tirtha has not said anything, most probably Madhvacharya also did not say anything. But we can read about Veera Raghavacharya, who is Sri Sampradaya, and he was before the Goswamis. So probably around the same time as Sridhar Swami. So he says also Tvisha Kantya Krishna Varnam Indra Neel Mani Vad Ujjwal Varnam Ityartha. Basically he is just saying exactly the same thing which Sridhar Swami said. So I don't know the exact time of Veer Raghava, maybe he was after Sridhar Swami, but he is definitely before the Goswamis. So he basically says exactly the same thing what Sridhar Swami said. And Krishnam, Sri Krishnam. He is commenting the word Krishna is Sri Krishna, Angani Hridayadi Mantra Murtaya. Upangani Kostubhadini, Astrani Sudarshanadini, Parshada Nanda Sunandade, Tatsahitam, Sankirtan Praye, Sankirtan Prachurai, Yagyai Rachanatmakai, Sumedso, Vivekina, Yajanti. So practically speaking, he is just followed Sridhar. If Sridhar was before him, that I don't know whether he was before or I don't know the time period. And then there are other, they say basically the same thing. So this is the meaning given to this verse. And then the meaning which is given by our Acharyas, everybody knows that. So they are saying their main play is on the word Tusha Krishnam. Yes.
In general, do the other sampradayas say there is an avatar in Kali Yuga, or do they say that he's treated or kind of thing?
No, nobody is saying anything like that. They are saying Krishna.
No, I don't mean specifically like referring to this verse, but in general, do they say that there's any avatar in Kali Yuga, like Sri Sampradaya?
Yeah, they have to say, because here itself is described that there is Yuga avatars. And Kalki is there anyway.
Okay.
Yes.
Since it seems so much is hanging on this word Tvisha, pretty much everything.
Right.
Could you talk a little bit about the etymology of this word and the different ways that it could be interpreted? Because this seems to be the crux.
No, the word is twit.
Tvit is the word.
Yeah. And Tritiya Vibhakti of twit is twish. Twish, actually twish becomes twit. Sha becomes ta. So it is twit, twishau, twisha, and twit, twishau, twishaha, twita, twisha. Twidabhyam, twidabhi, it will go like that. So twisha is the Tritiya, third case, singular, instrumental case, which means by hue or by effulgence. So the word twit means kanti. Kanti means like the glow, brilliance, appearance. It's also the word used for skin. So what our acharyas have done is that they're taking this word Tvisha Krishnam as Tvisha Akrishnam. And that is where the whole thing changes. So they say that Krishna Varnam, and the word Varnam, they give a different meaning. Because the meaning of the color, which is one of the four things to be answered, they applied to the word twit. And then the word Varnam has different meaning, because Varnam also means class. Like Chatur Varnam Maya system I created. So it can mean he who belongs to the class of Krishna. Krishna Varnam means he has the same class as Krishna. Or Varna also means to describe, like the letters are called Varna, Sanskrit Varna, A, E, E. So it Varnayati, there is a root Varn which means to explain, to describe, to elaborate. So that means Krishnam Varnayati iti Krishna Varna, one who speaks about Krishna, or one who is chanting Krishna Krishna, that is Krishna Varna. So this is how they take the meaning, that Krishnam Varnayati iti Krishna Varnam. Krishna Varnam is Dutiya Ekvachan, means who talks about Krishna, or who is basically establishing Krishna. So Krishnam Varnayati, or another is that he is in the same category as Krishna. Krishna Varna. Varna also means that. So and then Tvisha Akrishnam. But his bodily hue is not blackish. Although he is Krishna Varna, or belongs to the class of Krishna, but by appearance he is not Krishna. He is not blackish. And then Sango Pangastra Parshadam. So he has Sa is Anga means limb. Now the word Sa can also mean in the sense of beautiful. So that means who has beautiful bodily limbs. And upanga and associates. So upanga can also means who are like his limbs, his associates, intimate associates like Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya. They are like his, as if, because who are, the word anga is also used in the sense of somebody very dear. So in Sanskrit, when you want to refer to somebody in a very dear manner, then you say anga, hey anga, means beloved one. So upanga means those who are very close and very dear to him. And parshadas are other associates who are little away from him. They're like the Goswāmīs or like Sivananda Sena and all these people. So they are the parshadas, and upangas are the part of Panch Tattva. And anga means his own bodily limbs which are beautiful. So that is how this verse can be applied on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the meaning, and this meaning is at least not worse than what Sridhar Swami gives. I mean, naturally it is a sectarian meaning. I accept that, because people of other sampradaya are not going to accept it. But if you see from the sense of the verse and take the meaning without considering sectarian or non-sectarian, then this meaning has weight. It is not trying to stretch the meaning too much, because the other meaning is also not making much sense, because the other meaning is not telling us who is that avatar actually. So at least it solves one problem which the other one is not solving.
You
Yes.
say that the meaning given by the Goswāmīs, it confirms the words that come earlier of Gargacharya, Shukla Raktastatha Pita.
Yeah, those are.
Sridhar Swami actually is going against the statement of Gargacharya.
Yes, that is okay. That is, now once you give that meaning, then you have to find further statements to support that meaning. I am not going to that level yet. I am saying that just seeing the meaning itself of the verse, then this meaning is not so bad that you can just outrightly reject it. That's what I am saying. This meaning has some weight. It holds its ground on its by its own. Then later on they try to support it by Channa Kalau Yuge, Triyuge, Nastriyuge, that statement of Prahlad, and it is hidden avatar and Asan Trayohi Varna. So there were 3 other colors before, and Krishna Tam Idanim Gate, all that. Those are supporting statements. Just like Jīva Gosvāmī in Krishna Sandarbha, first he works on this statement, Krishnastu Bhagavān Svayam. So he gives a very elaborate explanation of this from Purmīmānsa and try to show how Krishna is Svayam Bhagavān and he is not an avatar. And then once he has done it, then he says, now I will show you more statements which support this. So those are supporting statements. So he says this statement is like an emperor, and then he has an army to support. So then he cites many statements. So now those statements by themselves may not give you the sense that Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan if you don't know this. But once you accept that, then you say, yeah, this statement is also saying this. Yes, this is also saying it. So those are supportive. So once we get this idea that this verse is speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we can find some support from other places. So that's what they do. So this is basically what I wanted to say, that because many times we are criticized when we give this meaning to such a meaning to this verse, and they say this is sectarian and all that. So you can say, yes, it is a sectarian meaning, but tell me what is your meaning. Give me your non-sectarian meaning, and then prove to me that your non-sectarian meaning is better than my sectarian meaning. And if that is true, I accept. But if your non-sectarian meaning is not better than my sectarian meaning, then I have no reason to give up my sectarian meaning. Right? That's logical. Yes.
Even if we accept Sridhar Swami's commentary here, he's opened up that there's an avatar of Krishna in Kali Yuga. And our understanding that Krishna is blackish, this is our understanding of Krishna, and he doesn't provide any further elaboration on who this avatar is. So it seems that even if we took Sridhar Swami's perspective, it still opens up that there's a Krishna avatar in Kali Yuga, whether we interpret this Varna word differently or not. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is one meaning you can take from his commentary. One meaning is that he's not saying that there is a Krishna avatar, but he says Krishna himself is an avatar for Kali Yuga. That is the meaning probably he intends. Although you can also interpret this way, that he is saying that in Kali Yuga there is an avatar of Krishna. And then we can say, well, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that will be, of course, clever way of taking his words and applying to our meaning.
But then we stuck with the black colour if we did that. If we did that, then what are we going to do with the black colour? The blue Nilamani colour, that's a problem for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if we are going to use Sri.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit difficult for us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult because he doesn't intend that meaning.
Yeah.
He is intending that Krishna himself, who is, like Indra Nil Mani, which is accepted fact, that Krishna himself is an avatar for Kali Yuga also. At least that's what the sense comes from here.
So if we're to take that interpretation, then Krishna himself would be coming in Kali Yuga, and that just has not occurred yet, according to Sridhar Swami then.
Yeah, that is one way. That is one.
Or else that he is the Krishna, even though it was Dwapara, it was the end of Dwapara, and he remains the avatar for Kali Yuga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That I would say that he means that Krishna already came in Dwapara, and the same is avatara is to be applied for Kali Yuga also. That he is also an avatar for Kali Yuga. That's why he is applying. So, actually, there's this Vanshidhara. His commentary is called Bhavartha Deepika. He tries to elaborate on Sridhar Swami's meaning in his commentary. So I can read what he says. He says, Dwapara iti. Where is Dwapara? Krishna kantitvam tu pradyumnadinam api asti tata ko vishesha iti yadva iti. So he is giving a reasoning why he went in Yadva. Why did Sridhar Swami give an alternate meaning? He is giving a logic for that. So he says that before giving an alternative meaning, all he says that Tvisha Kantya Krishnam Indra Nil Manivad Ujjvalam. That he is like Indra Nil Mani, blue sapphire, lustrous like that. So he says, well, Pradyumna also is like that. Krishna's son Pradyumna was also having the same color, so it will apply to that. So therefore he gives an alternate meaning, where he specifically says, Tvisha Krishnam Krishna Avatar. So that's how he applies this. Tvisha Nija Tejasa Karshati Ayatti Karoti Tvisha Krishno Nandanandana Stam. So he says Tvisha Krishnam means that by his lustrous he attracts people. And that is the meaning of Tvisha Krishnam, and that he says is Nandanandan Krishna. So Ang Purvat Krishernak Krishnascha Sau Avtarti Lokhitartham iti Avtarascheti Krishna Avtarastam. Anena Tvisha Krishnamiti Yuktena Prayo Bahulya Pradhanya Marana Ashneshu Chaiti Dharani. So that's all he says. Okay. Yes.
What is the meaning of the word, the last word, trup, in the first line, Parshadam?
Parshadam. Parshad means associates.
Parshadam.
Yeah. It comes from the word parishad. You know the word pari? Like in parikrama? Right? Pari means around. And sad means to sit. So those people who sit around, from that comes parshada, means associates, means who are very with him. That is.
Like the Babas. Sorry.
So that is the parshada. Okay, so is it clear the meaning of this verse? Yes.
I have a question from yesterday, if it's okay, but if you wanted to. Yesterday you pointed out that the Chaitanya Charitamrita was written after the Sandarbha, or it was written later, so it incorporated some of the, not some, but a lot of the philosophy from the Sandarbhas and the Goswami's writings. And I could be wrong, but I've heard people describe, and I've read some, but not the whole thing, the Chaitanya Bhagavat, heard it described to be a little less philosophically oriented and more pastime oriented.
Yes.
I was just wondering if that's why, because it was written before the Goswami's literatures were kind of out there. Is that one of the reasons maybe why?
Yeah, of course, that is one of the reasons. Because Krishnadas Kaviraj has the whole gamut of works of the Goswamis available to him, and he was obviously quite learned to grasp all this. And then more than that, he put it in life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why he was asked to do it. So he did it very intelligently, yes.
Is Jīva able to find any other verses in other Puranas or Itihasa, Mahabharata that say something a little similar to this?
Yeah,
Kali Yuga, Avatar.
I have quoted one verse here from Narad Purāṇa. This is Narad Purāṇa, chapter 5, verse 47. The Lord said, concealing my real identity, O Vipra, this is speaking to Markandeya, I appear in Kali Yuga in the garb of a devotee and always protect my devotees. It's a statement. There are many other verses which are found here and there, but I could not trace. I have actually collected verses which I could find. But this is from the Purana, otherwise there are verses in Krishna Samhita. But then they will say, well, this is a later composition. But at least Markandeya Purana is definitely before. So that's why I cited this particular verse here. I mean, say Narad Purana, not Markandeya. So this is at least two things are very clear here. One is says that concealing my real identity. Ahameva kalau vipra nityam prachanna vigraha. So prachanna, same word which is used by Prahlad Maharaj. Channa. And Bhagavad Bhakta Rupena Lokan Rakshami Sarvada. So he says that I come in the form of a devotee. So at least this verse is quite strongly supportive of this interpretation.
But how is he protecting the Lokan?
By Sankirtan. Because what else is the protection? Protection is from the Maya.
Sarvada means that he goes up.
Yes. Sarvada can be time or place, both ways. So you can read the commentary on this verse. I will not go into that. Now Jīva Gosvāmī, after writing this, after citing this verse from Bhagavatam, then he made a verse himself, which is like an image verse of this. As if he is trying to give the meaning of this verse. So he says, Antaha Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshidangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadyahi Sma Krishna Chaitanya Ashritaha. So he gives the meaning of the verse. He says, in Kali Yuga we take shelter of Sri Krishna Chaitanya through full participation of the self in complete kirtan, sankirtana, and other forms of devotion. He is golden without while concealing his blackish complexion within. And he has revealed the transcendental majesty of his bodily limbs and of his integral associates. So you see here, he makes it clear now that Krishna Varnam and Tusha, that he has Krishna Varna, but that is inside. So Antaha Krishnam, inside is black and outside is Gaura, outside is golden. That is one meaning. Or you can take just the words literally, that inside he is Krishna and outside he is Gauranga, Chaitanya. So either you can take the meaning of these words as color, Krishna and Gaura, both can be, or they are just nouns. What do you call? What is the word in English for personal noun or no? They are not pronoun. Proper noun. Proper noun. Thank you. So this Krishna and Gaura, either you can take as proper nouns, or you can take them as adjective or meaning quality as black and golden. So both ways it is applicable. So he is inside he is Krishna, outside he is appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Inside he is blackish, outside he is appearing as golden. And Darshit Angadi Vaibhavam. And he manifested the opulence of his bodily limbs, means he is very beautiful. And then his associates along with that. And then Kalau Sankirtanadya Isma Krishna Chaitanya Ashrita. So he says that we take shelter of Krishna Chaitanya. So now he opens up the meaning. So the word Krishna Varnam can also mean one who has the Varna Krishna in his name. Can also mean that. Means his name contains Krishna in it. That can also mean Krishna Varna. So Krishna Chaitanya is his name, and therefore he is called Krishna Varna. And Sankirtana. So Sankirtana means complete kirtan, which means not halfway. So you have to be fully absorbed in it. That is one meaning. Sankirtan, one meaning is that, okay, Bahubhi Militva. So many people coming together with musical instruments you do. And Sankirtan can also means with full absorption you do kirtan. So intelligent people, Sumedasa, they worship with Sankirtan. So this is the process. So in this Mangalacharan, he has indicated few things. As you can read in the commentary that there are 3 types of Mangalacharan. So he is including, he is doing the Namaskriya, also Vastu Nirdeshatmak. He is explaining what is the subject. So subject, when he says that we take shelter or he is worshipped by Kirtan, that means Bhakti. Kirtan is indicative of Bhakti. It is a Lakshana, which means it is one thing, but it also indicates or suggests the all other limbs of Bhakti. It's not only Kirtan, but all other things are included in it. So that means he has indirectly spoken what will be the subject of the Sandarbhas, that ultimately he wants to speak about Bhakti, which is in its ultimate form is prema, and Bhakti needs an object of Bhakti, and that is Krishna, Krishna Varnam, Tusa Krishnam. So all this is indirectly mentioned in this, that the subject, the adhikar, who has the adhikar, one who wants to be a devotee, and the process and the goal. So they are all indirectly spoken in the Mangalacharan, although he is going to in the last verse, there are 8 verses of Mangalacharan. In the 8th one, he is going to summarize everything, and everything will be stated very explicitly there. But even here, it has been mentioned indirectly. Yes.
Is it true that Krishnadas Kaviraj states somewhere that if one does not accept Sri Chaitanya as Krishna, then he's an asura or some kind of extremely strong sectarian language of that nature? Is that? I have a question, but first, is that true?
I think so, but I don't remember. You remember? Prem Prayojan Prabhu. Yeah?
Chapter 8, Adi Lila.
Okay, but I mean, I remember vaguely something like that.
Okay. I was just going to ask you if you had any thoughts about the context of how he says that and why he says that.
I don't
Just
exactly
sort
remember.
of an anecdotal comment. One time I was sitting next to Haridas Shastri Maharaj, and I asked him, I said, if someone, doesn't accept Chaitanya as Bhagavan Svayam, but accepts him in the mood of a bhakta, is that an aparad? And he just simply, immediately said, isme kuch nahi, isme koi aparad nahi. So, what do we do with such an extreme statement in our day and age, which is so sectarian, it's almost, I would say, embarrassing. I would say it's something I really don't want to have to, own. I don't want to have to defend. I don't want to have to, deal with.
Well,
What do we
then,
do with a statement like that?
send them to me.
Pardon?
Send such people to me.
And then I send it to you.
Let me handle them. Yeah, somebody has to handle these statements. What can we do? We cannot say that take these statements out. We cannot say this statement is wrong. We have to digest them. So that's our responsibility.
But there may be something in the context, if we look at the verses before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have to see,
Yeah.
and then we have to give
Tone
interpretation.
it down a little bit somehow.
Yes. There is always a possibility of interpreting. That's why I have to learn a little bit of Nyaya. You have to bring out some avchedaka, avchinna somewhere and throw it.
Make those long sentences.
Yes.
And then
Prabhu, this is,
Okay, he's good. I accept.
yes, this is a Lakshanik statement, this is Vyanjana Vritti. This is all these tools are available to us. You have to know about the vrittis, Mukhya Vritti, Lakshana Vritti, Vyanjana Vritti. Because if it is like this, then so many things go against it, right? There are other statements where he's described in another way, so you have to combine things. Yes.
But if Sankirtan means also with full attention, this
Hmm.
can be individual?
Yes.